Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley with Haley Stitches, and I'm so happy you're joining me for my third Flosstube. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their organization tips in my last video. It's been so fun talking to you all and chatting about what you love the most. I'm gonna deep dive into that a little bit more as we head into my whips, but to get started, I have my very first finishes. I actually have two finishes to show you that I'm really excited about, and it was my first kind of try at framing a cross stitch piece, so that was pretty exciting and a little bit challenging to get into. So to get started, my first finish is my vintage yellow flowers. This is a free DMC pattern on their website, and it's so cute in this frame. I had a really fun time stitching this one, and it really was the one that I actually learned how to stitch on. This is the first one that I worked on, and it was just a really fun one to do. I really love the colors. These little flowers kind of have that retro vibe. It's like retro, but it also reminds me of like SpongeBob a little bit. They have like these types of flowers in that. I remember that from when I was a really long time ago. So yeah, it's all framed. And to frame it, I used a sticky board. So I bought a couple of these press-on self-stick boards from Amazon, and I got a 3-pack of 9x12, and then I got one larger one for my other one that I finished, and it worked well. We had an issue because it's really, it's really thick for this frame. This is actually just a really cheap frame from Michael's. We probably won't go that cheap again. I'm saying we, me, my husband. My husband helped me with this, try to figure out what I needed to do and what frames to pick out, but I don't think that we're gonna go this cheap again. They have a lot nicer ones at Michael's that we liked and we've bought previously in our home, and they just didn't have the size that I needed, so we ended up going with a cheaper version of the same product. So this isn't actually wood, it's like a fake kind of plastic. It's plastic, it's a plastic frame with like a wood veneer kind of. So it actually busted open, one of the corners busted open, so my husband super glued it and we made it work. These are just gonna hang in my office here, so it's not a huge deal, and I think they look nice for the price that they are. It's just we'll hopefully upgrade next time so that we don't run into the issue of the frame breaking when I'm trying to put the piece in there. The issue was it was just a little bit too much for the frame to handle, so I think next time I'm gonna trim the sticky board. The 9x12 sticky board was exactly the size for the frame, so it was a little bit tight. I think next time I'll just have to trim a little bit off of the side and the top of the sticky board to allow for more room for when I'm stretching the Ada over it. But it wasn't really all that difficult. I watched a finishing video that Kimberly did at the Fat Quarter Shop, and that helped a lot. And I also watched one by Priscilla and Chelsea as well, because I know that they use sticky board a lot too. So if you have any tips for finishing or any fun ways to do it, I think I'm gonna stick to frames for now, just because like I said, I'm trying to finish this wall. We're hopefully gonna hang these today, so then next Flosstube we'll have something pretty in the background to look at finally, and I'm just gonna keep adding to that collection for a while. But I've seen pillows. I would be interested in finishing something into a pillow. There's a lot of creative ones out there, so if you have a favorite way to finish your piece, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And then my other finish is the Sew by Row by Lori Holt. So I'm trying to get it so you don't see the reflection outside, but so this one was really fun too. I love how all the colors turned out, really pretty, and the size is perfect for this frame, so I am happy to have this one all done. This was a stitch along and I definitely got behind, but it's all finished now and it was really, really, really fun to stitch and learn on. There was a lot more challenging, I guess, pieces. There was the back stitch that I had to learn, and then like the tails of the iron, and then the little confetti stitches up here with the pins and the tomato cushions, and then the buttons on the sewing machine. So it was kind of fun to try out all those different techniques and kind of figure out the best way to make it work. But yeah, that was really fun too. So those are my first 2 finishes. I'm so excited about that. I posted it over on Instagram as well, so if you want a closer look, you can check me out on Instagram at Haley Stitches to see those. Next, I want to dive into my works in progress. So because I finished the 2 pieces I was working on my last Flosstube, I got to start 2 more. The first one that I started is the Serendipity Stitch Along by Fat Quarter Shop. So this is the first row all completed. This one stitched up really quick. I was happy about that. It makes me feel hopeful that I'll be able to stay on track with this one. Because like I said, with the Sew by Row by Lori Holt, I did get behind. So I am hoping to stay on with this one. It's really, really cute. I am doing the quilt along version of this as well. My last video, I did my Sew Sampler unboxing and the Serendipity quilt kit unboxing. So if you want to check that out, that is my last video. And I will be posting the quilt updates on my Instagram as well. So if you're interested in the quilting, check that out there, along with my quilty chats I'll be doing maybe once a month. You can get kind of a view then. I would love to know how many of you actually do cross stitch and quilting, and if the content for the quilting stuff is relevant to you Flosstubers, or if you really are just sticking to the Flosstube for cross stitch. I know a lot of people will kind of mesh their projects together, like I know X-Stitch MD does knitting with their Flosstubes, and I've seen a few folks go over some quilting projects that they do as well. So, you know, let me know if you like that. If you don't like that, I can definitely show more of that in here if that's what people want to see. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with cross stitch because I have enough going on. I feel like, you know, I can fill it up easy with what I have going on. So again, this is the Serendipity Stitch Along by Fat Quarter Shop. I will link everything below as usual, so you can check that out if you're looking for a new work in progress. And then because my last video was all about organization, I did want to kind of show you how I'm organizing these projects. This one is definitely not that organized, but there are only 7 colors, so it makes me not feel so bad about staying organized. And all the colors are pretty different, so I'm not gonna get them mixed up, but for now I am just using this bag to throw everything in. It's working for now, so you know I've only done the first row, so I think I've used all the colors so far, and it is kind of like a jumbled mess, but I am going to bobbinate all this when I need to, but you know, I don't know, the colors are all different enough. I might honestly just stay with this, and I know it's probably not the most efficient way, but it works for this project, I think. And then I did yesterday bobbinate all of my leftovers from my 2 finishes, so this is what that looks like. It's only, you know, it's not that much floss, it's just 3 things here, and I organized them by DMC number so that they're easy to find. So that was fun. It took, I don't know, 2 hours, 2 episodes of Law & Order SVU to finish. And my husband helped me a little bit on that too, which was kind of fun. But yeah, so I feeling organized, feeling good about moving on to my next projects. Kind of, you know, the last 2 ones are officially done, and I can move on with a blank slate to my next ones. Okay. And then the next work in progress is this one. So I got a pretty good start on it. I started, I don't know, only a couple days ago. So I got, you know, pretty decent start on this one. This one is going to be huge. It's called Shaker Patchwork, and it's by Vivsters on Etsy. I will put in a picture of what the full piece is going to look like. So this one I think is finishing to be maybe 15 inches by 20 inches. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna finish it. I probably will put it in a frame. I just don't know if it's gonna go back here just because of how big it is, or if it'll go somewhere else in my house. But I love the colors on this one. I think it's so fun, and I love that it is quilt inspired almost. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really fun one to stitch. This kind of diamond right here has different colors all the way through, so it's a lot of switching, and you know, it gives it such great dimension when you add a lot more colors in like that. And for this one, how I'm organizing is I have my ring with my bobbin set up, but I only have the colors that I've used so far on here, so I'm just putting the working strand on here and then keeping a bag of the floss. I haven't gotten the chance to get any real like cloth bags or anything, so I am still just reusing these Ziploc bags that I've been using. I'm hoping to purchase those a little bit later once, I don't know, it's just hard to figure out like what size I want and all that, so I am just trying to get more familiar with exactly what I'm gonna need before I start purchasing a bunch of stuff. But these are all of the skeins that I haven't used yet, along with the ones that I have used, but they aren't too small where the numbers are falling off yet. So that's just how I'm working with that. And a lot of you said that the stickers that I got, let's see if I can show it. So a lot of you said that these stickers fell off, and I was experiencing that. So I just put a little bit of Scotch tape over it to make it stick, and that seems to be working just fine. I bought them, so I'm like, oh, I might as well just use them. And if I have to like tape on the sticker, that's not a big deal. So we are gonna go the bobbin route for now. After this video, I'm gonna work on this again. I'm really excited to get started on it. And I kind of love having a stitch along going along with another project because, you know, you can do the stitch along up until you don't have any more to stitch, right? Because the next piece hasn't been released yet. And then I can work on this one the rest of the time and get a lot of it done, hopefully. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I did want to touch on one more thing as far as organization goes. So a lot of you recommended the floss away bags, and a lot of you recommended the drops. So I'm curious, because as you guys know, I am like a complete beginner. I'm curious if a beginner review of all that stuff would be helpful, or if that's something you would want to see, because I am planning on purchasing the floss away bags and the drops, and looking into the other products that you all recommended to see if it's going to help me in my cross stitching, if it's something that I need or not. But I am just curious because so many people have different ideas for what works for them. I kind of want to try them all to see exactly what I am going to like. But I don't know, would that review be helpful? Is it something I should cover? Is it something that you all have already done before? I don't know. I definitely am gearing my content towards beginners because I'm a beginner myself, so that just makes sense, right? So let me know if that's something that you'd like to see. I was thinking what I would maybe do is just pick one method of organization for each project and then kind of explain how it worked for each project, you know, as I went start to finish through it. I don't know, that seems like the most practical way to do it in order to get a fair review of how each item works, each organization item works. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it either way, but let me know if that's something that y'all are interested in, want to see on my channel as well. Okay, so that is it for my whips. I am looking for new projects, so if you all have any recommendations on what you're working on, I think you can maybe tell by what I've been choosing that I do like a little bit more contemporary or modern patterns. You know, haven't done a sampler or anything. I'm just not really drawn to the samplers or the vintage or anything like that. I love watching that on Flosstube, but I don't know that it fits really with my home decor or my style necessarily. We are into vintage pieces, but we like to mix it with definitely more contemporary pieces as well. So if you have any recommendations for a piece you're working on, or if you know of a cross-stitch designer that kind of rides that, I don't know, style, let me know, because I would love to follow them on Etsy or Instagram so that I can find some more pieces to work on. I saw recently, I was watching a bunch of Flosstube yesterday, and I saw that there's this March Madness thing going on, which of course I've never heard of before, but it looked really, really fun, and I'm sad that I missed out on it this year. Maybe next year I can do it. But it seemed like for the first however many days, the stitcher would start a project each day, and then maybe on Instagram, I guess, would see which one beat out the other one. So it was like a March Madness bracket, and then it would go down to 4, and then 2, and then eventually 1 that you would finish out for the rest of the month. And I think that's such a fun idea. I can't even imagine having that many starts right now, just because I'm so new to everything. But that's definitely something I would be interested in. I also saw that there's something called Mania. If you participate in that and want to give me more info on what that really is, let me know. From what I've seen, the pure concept is that you do a new start every day for the month of May, and that is definitely not going to be a reality for me, because it would take me, I don't know, years to finish all of those. I just know how I am. So maybe like a new start a week or something would be fun. I don't know. How do you make that work for you and your schedule? I would love to know, and that seems fun. And I also saw, like, on inauguration day, there was like inauguration stitching, and then there was like a cross stitch weekend where people cross stitch for 24 hours, and there's all these things that I'm finding out about like after they happen. So if anything like that's happening in the cross stitch world, let me know. I want to be a part of it, but I don't really know where to go to find all that info, and I know it's just going to come along with more experience and as I follow more people and get immersed and meshed into the community. But yeah, let me in on all your secrets, because it looks really fun and I want to be a part of it, and you know, I need a little bit of time to prepare. So the next thing I want to dive into is to my kind of future plans. So I did just touch on this a little bit, but I am looking for some new patterns. I'm really digging, I saw on Instagram, like, and now I can't even find the account. I know that I follow them, but I searched through like all the people that I follow and I still can't find them. I'm sure they'll pop up in my feed again soon, but they do kind of like, I don't know, like interior scenes. Like, I'm sure a lot of people do this, so this is not very helpful, and I wish I could give them credit. Maybe next time if I find them, I'll give them credit, but it's like a cozy scene. So like a couch with maybe like a cat on the top of it and like a blanket and maybe like a fireplace, and like, you know, it's just like you would like a photo in a magazine of a living room, but then that's the cross stitch. And I also saw one that's really popular on Etsy right now that's a kitchen, and you know, I thought those were really cool, and they were like a nice fun kind of modern take that I really enjoyed. And I saw a couple that were sewing rooms, and I loved that. So I have been playing around on, I purchased wind stitch. I know this is totally like another, like could be a whole new video by itself, but I purchased wind stitch. So I did this whole thing in Stitch Fiddle, and then I like went to export it, and I was like, okay, well, this ain't really gonna work for what I need. It just wasn't user friendly, which I'm sure you all know already. So I needed something with a little bit more versatility, and that would let me export it a little bit neater, I guess. So I purchased wind stitch, and I haven't really had much time to play around with it. So basically I want to copy my design that I did in Stitch Fiddle and put it into wind stitch. And I didn't use a picture or anything. I just, you know, played around with the pixels. But what it is a sewing space, and it's different than the cross stitches that I've seen so far. Granted, I haven't done like hours of research on to see if this concept has been done before. I'm sure something similar has. The pattern I came up with is a sewing room scene, and it has a desk similar to my desk with a sewing machine on it, with a blanket running through, or sorry, a quilt running through, and on the other side is kind of a hutch with a bunch of storage. It has a bunch of quilts on one side and then some notions and books and things on the other. There are a couple plants in there, and then a big gallery wall of quilts and cross stitch, those types of things. And then there's a big fun rug on the floors. I went to Michael's and got a bunch of skeins of floss that I thought would look really nice with it, and those are all right here. So these are the colors that I'm just really drawn to. So they're kind of like the muted colors, the like, you know, it's really like a rainbow of colors, I guess, but a lot of them are really muted, like muted, maybe mid-century modern, maybe vintage colors. I really enjoy. So I'm hoping to take some of these and actually make my idea come to life. So I have all my supplies to do that. I just have to sit down and actually stitch it. The plan is for it to fit into a 9-inch hoop, and it will be a circular design and meant to be finished in a hoop, or I'm gonna finish it in a hoop, I guess. I am excited about that. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm hoping to start stitching that pretty soon, and I'll be sure to show it on here because I know that getting into something like pattern writing is like totally different muscles and it's totally different way of thinking. So I don't know. I mean, I feel comfortable doing it just because I've done it before for knitting, crochet, and for quilting. So I have those kind of skills already because I've learned them over the years. But it's definitely something that anybody can do if you have the patience and the willingness to learn how to do it. The cross stitch one was really fun. I spent several hours in front of the computer, you know, clicking all the pixels and stuff on Stitch Fiddle, and when you don't have a photo to work from, it can definitely take longer for those software programs. But I mean, as long as you have even grid paper, you could make your own pattern. But yeah, I'm not an artist either, so it's not even like I could have an iPad and draw it out and then upload it and then, you know, just play around with the details in there to make it, to refine it a little bit. I pretty much have to start from scratch because I don't have that drawing ability at all. So that's okay though, because the types of cross stitch that I'm drawn to is not all that detailed yet. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be an issue, especially not for this pattern that I'm thinking about. But yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that, or, you know, kind of seeing more about how I'm going about doing that. I have seen several tutorials around. I'm not thinking about doing a tutorial or anything like that. I just maybe walk you through my thought process and how I'm making that a reality. Maybe how I get inspiration for those types of things. But yeah, there's plenty of resources out there if you want to learn how to do that yourself, and there's people who are way more experienced than me that you can learn from, because I'm learning from them too. I'm curious how many Flosstubers, or I mean anybody that watches Flosstube, I guess, how many of you make your own patterns, and is that something that you are interested in even doing? Do you make them just for yourself? Do you sell them? I don't really have an intention of selling patterns right now. You know, if I make some things and there's an interest, then maybe I'll figure that out. But for now, it's just for me and for making my gallery wall more beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a fun adventure, and I am curious if anybody else finds joy in that the same way I do. I mean, I know there are plenty of people who make careers off of selling cross-stitch patterns, but you know, I don't know. So that is everything that I had today for you all. Maybe one day we'll get into the hour territory of floss tubes, but I don't mind having them be on the shorter side, especially right now when I'm first getting started. I only have a handful of projects I'm working on, so I hope some of you enjoy kind of the shorter floss tubes as well. I really appreciate all your guys' feedback in the comments. If you're enjoying my channel, please like this video and subscribe. I have a new floss tube every other Monday for you to enjoy, and in the meantime you can see what I'm up to on my Instagram, Haley Stitches. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.